up, guys? We're back. This is UFC Vegas 106. Gilbert Burns versus almost said Marlon Moraes against what's his name? Moraes.
It's Michael.
Michael Morales. There you go. Michael Morales versus Gilbert Burns. I'm your host, Big Fat Pegasus, here with Key3Picks Dravhy. This is gonna be a quick one. I mean, this is one of the lesser Apex cards of the years, but honestly, sometimes it's these cards that do actually show up. Quick little recap for us all first. I mean, we all did pretty well for UFC 315. We all called JDM. We all cashed there, right? Everyone got in on JDM.
I got it live.
The world is back. Our queen failed us. She unfortunately, I thought she lost. I thought she won 2-3-5. Personally, watching it, but
yeah, same. But like, I can scream robbery or anything like that. But no. I saw most people scored the fight for her. And did she break her nose in round 1 too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's like
that didn't happen.
Fight still look pick'em with her in
yeah,
worst case scenario. Like
she got dominated in the first round, her nose broken, and then she come back. It arguably won the fight. So it's like people are gonna be like low on her because Valentina looked fast as fuck there, especially early, but the clinch was not even close. It's like she was just dominating the clinch. But yeah, it is what it is. We're going to remember Zabi for beating the King of Rio and the King of Rio holding for dear life in round 3, though, because that was crazy. And I don't know if you guys want to tell Peg, but like Peg was, saying all that shit last show about how Jose Aldo minus 225 was going to be in parlays. That was like disrespect. That Zabi has no business in this fight, all that shit. I ended up betting Zabi. Peg didn't bet Aldo because he was scared. And after that, he's screaming robbery as usual. So, yeah, Zabi showed that dog in him, was breaking the King of Rio down and send him into retirement. So that's sad, but it is what it is. It was nice to see live because that round 3, bro, that was like one of the craziest shit I've ever seen. And I saw it live. And, bro, I am the one started the crowd that, like, when he got hurt and he was, like, recovering and Aldo was tired, I jumped and I was like, Zabi. And then people started screaming with me and we all go crazy. And then he was on top. I was like, Zabi. He was elbowing his face, bro. That was, like, insane, man. And so, yeah, Peg, any comments on this situation about last week about Jose Aldo?
Yeah, round 1 was close. Round 2 was clear Aldo. Round 3, you probably could have given it to Aldo too.
Clear Aldo was round 1. He won the first, clearly.
I would give him the second, honestly.
Round 2 was not close at all. It was like
so maybe I'm thinking around 1. So one of the earlier rounds, I thought it was clear Aldo.
He barely won the first, and he looked fucking good, like he really did. And Zabi was like, I need to just beat down the beat. I mean, he slowed down in round 3, not in round 2, but like I can understand why people say that like he won the first 2, but I thought the decision was right. And I mean,
I just don't like the third round. It was just like
Zahabi won the fight, but I think that Aldo won on scorecards. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like, Zahabi broke him. Like he deserved to win from that perspective, but from just a scoring criteria standpoint, I did give the first 2 rounds to Aldo.
And then also, like, I sent Dravhy a meme earlier today that was like, you know what, we're going to bring Aldo back from retirement. We're going to give him 2 legacy fights. But instead, they bring him in, they give him 2 prospects and rob him on both cards. So that's how we're going to do Jose Aldo. And now he's gone again on a 3-fight losing streak or worse.
And also, respect to Bellato. He showed that hard, bro, because,
yeah.
I mean, the fact that he didn't get finished, bro, it was crazy. So the GDM looked amazing. It was crazy to see him live, but Bellato was like, fuck that, bro. I'm not going out. I'm going to fight till the end. So that was like big respect for him. Like, it was a good fight. Very good fight.
Mount looked good.
Yeah, bro, we were screaming, fuck you, right? That was crazy, dude.
Yeah,
he smoked him. I'm mad I didn't bet him because I said he was the side, and I kind of missed the best price, and I didn't get involved. But
he's minus 155 at one point.
Yeah, that's the point where I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to bet him. But then the buyback came in to minus 200. But yeah, it was a very good card, especially my first event live.
You also got to see Brad Katona get knocked out.
Bro, that was crazy. That was crazy. And it's like Key boy too. So Key was like probably disappointed. He loves some Brad Katona. Dude,
Yeah, I'm just glad I didn't bet him. But that shit was like that blew my
but
mind to just see him die.
that shot was crazy though. The way he
He's
catch
got
him.
power, bro. He's got power. I
You
don't know
really
what to
do,
say.
man. That was nice. We started the night like that. People were like not talking in the crowd, and
Also,
then
people talked a lot of
Marc-André
shit.
Barrios, bro. I don't know if you guys know on the watching it live how bad that knockout was, but I
It
mean,
dented his head.
yeah, but I mean, the guy was not. He was not waking up. He was still on the ground for multiple minutes. You guys were probably on commercial during that time. He was not waking up. He was on the ground, face first, and then the stretcher came in. He couldn't do anything. But I heard he's all right. But man, that elbow was nasty. And now they book MAB versus Shara Bullet. I don't know if you guys saw, but
yeah, I saw that. I don't like that fight for MAB, honestly. I don't.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be a hard one, but
I don't know. Dude, everyone slept on Daniel Santos. I mean, he kind of cooked. No?
Yeah, he did.
He fought a good fight.
He looked great. That fight was very good too.
Yeah,
I don't know why people were
Natalia Silva. I was very impressed with Natalia Silva. She keeps looking better and better each fight, to be honest.
Beat her ass. It was not even close.
Beat Grasso's ass. And I was just like, damn, okay. So, I mean, she's the real deal. She's the real deal.
She always has been the real deal, but like
Jasmine crushed all of us on
bro.
round one.
Jasmine smoke her. I was like, bro, come on, get to round 2 at least. But yeah, Jasmine is like she's entering her prime at 36.
I had ITD, which I was happy with. I saw like a potential for both, but then me and you were texting. I'm like, dude, there's no way she's gonna sub her. At least she's gonna probably ground and pound her. And then there she goes. She gets a first round sub. Crazy shit.
Yeah, but Jessica didn't really want to be in there. It was kind of sad to see. But yeah, Jasmine
collecting paychecks at this rate. But all right, let's get into the card here. All right, share screen. First fight of the night is Luana Pinheiro versus Tisha Pennington. Luana Pinheiro is 11-4. She's 31-5'4", the 62-inch reach. Tisha Pennington, 14-7, 35, 5'1", 61-inch reach. Odds in these two ladies, you can get sorry about that. I'm looking at the other odds. You can get Pennington anywhere from -350 to -450. You get Pinheiro anywhere from +275 to +300. Kind of a little girls fight. Key, does Pennington just outpace and out volume Luana here? Or does Luana get her judo throws going, land the heavier shots, win the moments, win a decision? How do you think it goes?
Yeah, no, I think that Tisha probably gets it done here. But I don't like these odds. I played Tisha against Esparza gladly. And I've bet Luana against Hebos before, in a fight where she had moments. But again, that's all she is moments. Process wise, cardio wise. It's funny because she's with Nicolau, who is a guy who is actually decent at winning minutes. But Luana is just the opposite. I mean, the process is just big overhands. The judo to me is not that strong. Not something that she's going to be able to count on in this fight, especially as I rate Pennington's takedown defense still pretty highly. I think Tisha gets it done, but I'm not paying -330 on a woman who has little to no finishing upside here outside of Pinheiro just literally just gassing herself out and losing this fight. But I think that this is probably 29-28, 30-27. Tisha gets it done by decision, but this is not a good fight.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with you to an extent. I think that like she's one of the options for spread of the week this week. I think it's only -120 for her +3.5. I think this probably ends up being a 29-28 fight. I think Luana Pinheiro will win minutes, land bigger shots, kind of impress the judges, make more noise in the apex. But if it comes to like sheer volume, like Tisha Pennington is definitely going to be able to outvolume her. Like he said, the judo works against other girls. I'm not really sure we're going to see it work here against Tisha Pennington just because of how well her grappling is. I don't think Pennington's going to get any grappling going herself. like Angela Hill was able to against Pinheiro. But I could see a 29-28 decision for Tisha Pennington. So that being said, I'll take Pennington by decision, but there's a possibility we make Luana Pinheiro spread of the week this week. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, not much to add on this one, boys. I don't have much to say, but I think Pinheiro should win around, like you said. So I think the spread is good. I think early she's going to compete, but I just don't trust her gas tank. I think Tisha is going to be the one doing more, looking better late, throwing more volume. But yeah, I mean, the judges don't really like her, and she's always in close fights, so you don't want to lay big chalk on her. But I mean, if you look, Pinheiro by decision is 5-1, so maybe you can get like 6-1 on commercial. I think it could be decent if you want to play her because I don't think she finished. And 5 to 6-1 in a fight, women's MMA fight, to that is like favored to go the distance at minus 400. I think it's a pretty good look. So either the spread on Pinheiro or the decision prop. That's my betting angle. But I'm gonna pick Pennington by decision, but it's like minus 240, so it's so ugly. It's a good fight to pass on, I feel like. But the spread could be decent because I think she win around actually and lose 29-28.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about it too. But there's another guy that we're about to talk about next who's also there. But it's a different type of spread. Next fight, we got Hyun Sung Park versus Carlos Hernandez. It's funny how they keep putting Carlos Hernandez in these spots against these road to UFC Korean or Eastern Asian fighters. It's funny how they keep just putting the prospects against him. Park is 9-0. He's 29, 5'7" with a 66-inch reach. Carlos Hernandez is 10-4. He's 31, 5'8", and 67-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen. Park is a favorite at minus 150 to minus 175. Carlos Hernandez is anywhere from plus 150 to plus 130. Drav, what do you think here? Do you think Park's going to be able to get his grappling going, find a sub here against Hernandez, or is Hernandez going to, look like he usually does against these prospects and kind of show out a little bit and lose a 29-28 decision?
I've seen Hernandez as a popular dog this week, which, I mean, I get it in a sense, but at the same time, he's not really the type of guy I want to have my money on. I've bet him in his last fight, and, bro, that was a sweat because he made that fight really close. He got hurt in 2 of these 3 rounds, and he arguably lost. Difference between this fight and his last fight is the reason I bet him is like in his last fight, he was the one with grappling upside and that could win minute on the feet and on the ground. And in this fight, the difference is I think Park is the better grappler. I think Park has the grappling upside. I think Park could be taking the back here, could find maybe a submission. Actually think his grappling is pretty good and underrated. I've watched some because he's a year and a half away from the sport. So I watch his Instagram. I've listened to some things on YouTube to the way his camp is going, and I saw this dude scramble and doing some grappling, and I think he's pretty good on the mat, really do. So he knows what he's doing. And Hernandez, thing with him is he's not a great winner. He's always in there and fighting in close fight. Peg, if you click on his name, look at this record and look at this decision. No, click on his name. Yeah. So look at this decision. That's a flyweight fight, right? So more than likely you go the distance. Look at his 6 win, like only 2 of them by decision or unanimous. All the other one are like split and weird shit. So, and he doesn't have power. He doesn't have any KOs. He's not going to submit Park. So we're looking at like a really close decision for his path to victory. And on the other end, I think that Park has just way more upside. I think that he could crack him on the feet. I think he has more power. I think that he's stronger. And I think that on the mat, he's going to be the one looking for takedowns here. And I think that if he goes to the ground, he could control him. I think he could get the back. And Hernandez is good at getting up, and he has good scrambles to his credit. But I just think that, he gave up the bad position. He gave up the back, and I think Park has a really good back take. And I just think, I think he has more upside in the fight. I think he could finish the fight. And I think that he could dominate also and win 30-27 or 29-28. So, yeah, Hernandez has more experience. He could potentially win this, but I just feel like Park has the higher ceiling in this fight. And the narrative-wise, I don't really like it for Hernandez. Like you said, they're always using him against these guys. And I just feel like this fight is a harder fight than his last one. And even his last fight that I thought was a good matchup for him, he made it really, really close. So Yeah. So I like Park here. I think the line is fine. Maybe it could be a bit wider. So yeah.
Yeah, I like Park as well. I agree with pretty much everything you said there. I think he's gonna have most of the grappling and wrestling upside. He'll have the submission upside. I don't really see like KO finish necessarily coming, but I think he could easily win a 30-27 here, winning every round. Carlos doesn't separate well. Only times he keeps it close is when the fight's standing totally, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that here. I just think Park's just going to be the better fighter. He's the younger guy. He wants it more, hungrier, looks good, like you said, on Instagram. He's another sharp angle I was looking at for spread of the week. I didn't mind his spread. I believe it's -3.5 is plus 150 now. It was plus 130 earlier. It's plus 150. I don't hate that at all, just because I do think if he wins, he probably wins a dominant decision and or finds a submission finish.
Yeah, and to your point in the striking, I think Hernandez is going to win minute on the feet, but I think Park's going to win big moments. He's going to go to the body, throw the big shot and stuff like that. You know, I think he's more likely to hurt Hernandez and then big shot win big moments. But yeah, I think Hernandez could potentially win minute, but like close margin, close decision. Like he's not going to win this fight 30-27, or he's not going to win this fight by finish. So yeah, just a lot more upside on the Park side. And I know people are like kind of low on him because of the Shane and Russ fight, but I think the guy is good. So we'll see what happens.
What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time here, but damn bet this fight so far. Not loving the Hernandez dog love. Thin margins, just bad winner at this level. Park is gonna be the more physical guy. I can see him landing in the pocket. For me, it's a pass fight.
All right. Next
You're
fight.
picking Park, Key, just for the show?
Park.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Next is a low-level girls fight. We got Denise Gomes versus Elise Reed. Gomes is 10-3, 25, 5'2", 63-inch reach. Elise Reed is 8-4, 32, 5'3", 63-inch reach. Odds on these ladies, I believe she's the second biggest favorite on the card. Denise Gomes is anywhere from -550 or -480 to -600. Elise Reed is anywhere from +400 to +460. Key, I mean, Gomes has got to find a finish in this fight, right? We've seen Reed finish before. I think it was against Hughes when I was looking back at it. Probably finds and she got subbed by Lupe Godinez, and she got subbed by Aloma Lukabume, the GOAT. So, I mean, Denise's got to find the finish here against Reed, right?
Yeah, one would think so. Elise is like pound for pound one of the worst to ever do it. I mean, it's watching the film back was fucking like just laughable. The loopy ass whooping is like probably one of the worst. Yeah, one of the worst WMMA ass whoopings I've ever seen. Like Loopy just like big sistered her the whole fight. Elise has like offensively can sometimes look good. It shows some sort of brilliance on the feet, but then defensively, she's a fucking nightmare. She's a head case. Her coaching is all out of whack. Like, I mean, she's not a good fighter. I think that Denise should do whatever she wants here. It's up to her. And if she wants to come out like a bat out of hell and get her out of there round one, I think she very well could. If she wants to draw this out, which I feel like she did at times versus Moore, and I had dog money there, and I forget a crazy price on KO or ITD, and she just like carried Moore at moments. It felt like I think again, Denise, there's a physicality difference. She fights with a tenacity that Elise is just simply allergic to.
It's plus 150 ITD. Do you like that?
No, I think that there's plenty of ways to play this.
You got that. You got either fighter win by KO plus 250, either one by sub plus 400. So there's a few ways definitely to play this one. Points being chalk is kind of crazy. Drav, what do you think here?
Yeah, I don't really like this fight. I wanted to bet Gomes ITD or the under, but I ended up passing. I have weird vibes about it, you know. At the end of the day, the fight is favored to go the distance, and Elise Reed, when she's losing, she's getting finished. So if you want to bet Gomes and if she cover a price, she's probably going to finish her. So yeah, I was hoping maybe because she she doesn't have submission. Maybe you get like a big number on the sub prop, but they're onto it. The price is shit. And, Elise Reed is 6-0 to the decision. So if you like her, I don't think she finished Gomes, but maybe Elise Reed by decision. It's almost 7-1. I think that's her path to victory. But again, it would need Gomes to fight a bad fight and Reed to fight like a really good fight. The only thing I'll say is like Reed normally struggle against grapper, and Gomes is more of a little striker that has power, but Reed is fragile. I think Gomes could hurt her. I think she could submit her. So because of that, I'm gonna pick Gomes to get it done. Maybe inside a distance. That's the way I would look to play it. And if you want to take a dog shot on Reed, just take the decision. Again, she's not gonna finish. Gomes is super tough, and you're getting a fight that again is like minus 150, minus 175 to go the distance, and you're getting Reed decision. It's 650 on Bet Online. You're probably gonna get like 7-1, 750 on commercial, and I think that's her path to victory. She's doing well when she goes the distance, but it's not a fight I really want to bet on. But I think Gomes is gonna probably finish her. Like Reed's always losing by finish, so I don't get why Gomes ITD's like big difference between her decision prop, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste much time. I think this is a clear Gomes by inside the distance spot. Plus 145 seems fine to me if you want to bet her. Next fight, another girls fight. The real queen of Muay Thai, Tinara Lisboa versus Luana Santos. This is Luana Santos going up a weight to 135. To make that clear, Lisboa is coming off a terrible knee injury. Lisboa 7-2, 34, 5'7", 67-inch reach. Santos 8-2, 25, 5'6", 67-inch reach. She jerks off her dog, just to make it clear too. That's another thing that I brought to light. Lisboa plus 140 to plus 115. Santos anywhere from minus 150 to minus 175. Key, I'm gonna have you go first again. I mean, I think this is a clear. Actually, I'll go first. You know what? I'll go first. I think this is a clear Lisboa spot. Luana Santos going up in weight isn't a good sign. We've seen her struggle with her weight cuts before. Now she's going to go up. She's going to be a smaller girl against a girl in Lisboa who is super physical, super strong, and super big. Yeah, surgery's kind of an issue. But in hindsight, right, we're looking at a girl who's a 2-time world champion Muay Thai kickboxer, hits harder, good at countering. We've seen Luana Santos not that great on the feet. And then when it comes to like actually watching Lisboa's MMA in the UFC, she's depended mostly on her grappling so far. We've seen her grapple, we've seen her have success with it when she's on top, when she and working her grappling. When she's getting grappled, she's kind of like a fish off her back for some reason. Not really sure how those two translate, but at plus 150, plus 140, like clear Lisboa spot for me. I haven't bet it myself yet. I'm going to be planning on betting it. I'm just kind of watching this line because I could see people kind of thinking like, oh, we're sharp. There's surgery on the line. She has a grappling upside. Luana Santos is such the better fighter. Like, this is clear. Also, 34, people say is old. Not in women years. Holly Holmes fought amazingly until she was 38. Most girls, like I cap older women at like 38, 39, 40. That's where I think they start to dissipate versus men where they do 34, 35, 36. So
Jasmine in her prime at 36.
Huh?
Jasmine in her prime at 36.
Exactly. Like girls just age better because they just don't take as much damage. It's just, I don't know. I think the age doesn't translate men to women. So yeah, that being said, I think this is a dog spot, dog or pass. Don't mind the under either. I think Santos could be live for a possible sub, or Lisboa could knock her out and get her to quit. That's my thoughts on it. Key, sorry for stealing the limelight from you. What do you think?
No, I have a question for Peg first, just so we're clear, because Santos was plus 100 like 2 days ago, right? Now she's minus 170. So don't you think the line already blew out?
Wait, what do you? I'm talking about for Lisboa.
Yeah, but you said you're waiting because you think money's gonna come on Santos, right? Because you're waiting on the line. But Santos was plus 100 2 days ago. All right. So now she's minus 170. So don't you think the money already came in on her?
She actually opened plus 130. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, but she was plus 100 for like a day or two. But that I'm asking you about the line movement. So just to be clear, you're gonna be on Lisboa here. You're picking her to win.
Yeah, I'm picking Lisboa to win for sure. And now I didn't look at that opening line at plus 100. Now, this actually might be the best it gets. You might be right.
She sit at plus 100 for a day or about so. And she was like pick him the day after, and then money came in. She got to like minus 140, minus 150.
I saw her on minus 130. That's where I really saw her. So I saw her go to minus 160, and I was like, okay, this could go to minus 180.
Yeah, so now she's minus 170.
Yeah, so I guess now's the time to bet Lisboa. I like Lisboa. I think plus 130 is fine. I think you get plus 141 on.
It's plus 145
on Bet Online.
Yeah.
I'm seeing plus 140 on Bet Online. Yeah, that's fine with me. I like that line. Lisboa plus 140 for me. We'll take the shot. I mean,
145, bro. 145.
She looks terrible and off the knee surgery. It's possible. I think Key will talk a little bit about that. Talk about it, Key. Go ahead. What do you got for us? The knee specialist.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that here this is a really weird fight for me to cap, honestly. And don't feel strongly about it at all. Lisboa was underwhelming in what we've seen from her in MMA. Yes, she does have nice straight shots and has shown some decent hand speed at moments. But none of her fights are ever clean. And for me, the clinch in any grappling exchange is going to benefit Luana here. I mean, if Ravena Oliveira is reversing you and getting on top and being able to actually sit for minutes on top, and I rate her as one of the worst ever. If she's able to do that, I'm not gonna sit here and think that Luana is gonna have trouble with you on the mat. I think Luana is very solid in half guard side control. I can see her again there finding subs, a lot of ground and pound, even crucifix. So I give her a lot of upside on the mat, whereas Lisboa on the feet is just not going to be a clean fight. It's not like she's going to actually keep distance for 15 minutes and just put on a striking clinic. That just hasn't been who she is in MMA. And I know the striking accolades are big, but if we take away the striking accolades and just look at her for who the striker she is, I don't think that we would have people sitting here raving about how good she is on the feet. She just hasn't shown that in MMA. So for me, it's a pass. I can understand Lisboa dog shots to some extent, but to throw it all off is the cartilage reconstruction surgery. And I mean, I very much, as somebody who's had knee surgeries before, I very much rather tear a ligament than deal with anything cartilage based. I just don't think it's so much harder to become the same athlete that you were. So who knows if she has still the same speed and pop. I think that I'd like for her to be a lot more active over these years coming into a fight like this versus a girl in Luana who, say what you want to, she's been pretty consistent activity wise, and she's looking like she's on shape. And on Instagram, I know she's been doing a lot of work in Vegas with the PI. So it's not like she's not taking this serious. She's putting in the work. I don't expect her to have any issues on the scale or anything of that nature. I don't think she's going to look fat. I think that she'll look solid. So for me, it's a pass. But I can understand both sides here. I just don't feel passionate.
But you're picking Santos, right? To get it done?
Yeah, I'll pick Santos.
You're leaning right. All right. So yeah, I'm more on this the side of Peg on this one personally. I just think that at the current line, there's no way Santos, I mean, maybe she just wreck her in the grappling. It's possible. There's some concern about Lisboa, obviously the layoff and the knee the knee surgery. But outside of that, if you just look at the tapes, I mean, to your point, she's not like the best striker, Lisboa. But I mean, Santos striking is awful. Like her striking is really, even if you look at the Miller fight, for example, she got a KO here, but she was just swinging and shit. And then you watched Stephanie Egger fight. Her striking looked awful. I think it looked a bit better against Casey O'Neill, to her credit. But still, I think Lisboa is just, Peg, are you jerking off? What's going on?
I'm typing on my keyboard. Why? What you doing? I wasn't even looking at the screen. What happened?
So yeah, I mean, in this fight, I just think Lisboa is the much cleaner, the much cleaner striker, and her counter is actually pretty good. I don't think like she's that good of a striker. Like she's not a top level striker, but I think for this level, her striking is pretty good. And the thing I don't really like is that she's low volume. But again, in this fight, I think Santos, every time she's gonna throw, she's gonna get counters because this bull is just so much more, so much more clean and more. I think she has more power as well. So now the concern for me is I talk about the knee and the layoff, but matchup wise, it's more so that Lisboa, like Peg mentioned, loves to engage in the grappling. Not to say she has bad grappling, her grappling is all right, but what when she's on top and going for subs and shit, what I don't like is she could get reversed and she could end up on bottom. And if Santos on top, she might win the round that way, controlling her because Lisboa get up is not that good. She could lose a minute there, but I don't think Santos gonna finish her on the mat. And I think that as the fight extends in round 3, it does favor Lisboa. I don't think Santos has the best cardio. Some shaky look in round 3, and at 125, I think I like her better than 135. If you look the 135 fight that she had against Egger, she looked fat. She missed weight, 139, and I just don't think her body looked. I mean, compared to watch the Egger fight and watch the Casey O'Neill fight, her body is completely different. And she talked about it. She said that she has issues about something about her body and gaining weight and shit like that. So I just think that her taking this fight up a weight class at 135 is not as good because her wrestling is not that good. She has some judo and shit like that, but her actual takedown is not that great. So my only worry is if Lisboa trying to engage too much in the grappling and end up in bad position. But if she fights smart here, I think she could win this pretty clean and outstrike her, win the big moments on the feet, and just being the better athlete, the better fighter.
I just don't like. Do you think like what is y'all's definition of clean here? Because I mean like I'm somebody who bet against like I don't think the Luana is good at all.
Yeah, I bet
But
against her multiple
yeah,
times.
I
So
bet Casey O'Neill last time out against
I
yeah, me
like
her.
too.
big
So
meaty hooks.
I mean,
Coming.
and
bro,
but
I
like
think
realistically, like the big shot, like Luana does throw hard, and
she
so
does.
that's good. I feel going to lead to them in the clinch a lot, and we've just never seen Lisboa stay at distance and be content with just winning outside exchanges. Like either
Yeah.
she's smothering her own punches, or she naturally ends up in the clinch and wanting to engage.
The thing
Well,
though is
that's
I
just
think
Muay Thai in general, though. That's
the,
kind of the whole thing: is fight to you get to the clinch, and then let them come back, and then you go forward and back and forward and back, clinch to clinch. That's kind of only what she
and
knows, I think.
to your point, Kia, I actually think she could win the clinch here. That's kind of my thing that I've seen on tape. She's actually pretty good there. She's strong, and she has good knees, good elbow. She's good at causing damage in close range in the clinch. Whereas I think Santa is gonna be struggling because of the weight difference. I think she's gonna have more issues getting the fight down to the ground at 135 that she does at 125. And to your point about the clean is, I think on the feet. I think Lisboa is much better than her. Like I really do. But Santos gonna throw hard, like you said. That's facts. But I actually think that Lisboa is gonna use that against her and counter her because I think her counter is pretty sharp. And say what you want about Jessica Rose Clark, but Jessica Rose Clark when she's striking against these girls, she's never really getting outclassed. She's getting outclassed on the mat, and almost every time she's losing. But she's a good striker, right? Good volume, durable. Lisboa cracked her multiple times. She hurt her in 2 rounds, and she kind of beat her. I mean, the fight was close at some point on minutes, but she won big moments in that fight. And I think I rate Jessica Rose Clark striking way higher than Santos personally. So, and then the cardio dynamic again in round 3, I think Lisboa is going to win, and I just think that outside of I think for Santos to win this, Lisboa has to fight dumb. Basically, that's how I see it. So I don't think Santos could win 30-27, but I actually think Lisboa could, But realistically, I think it's going to be a 29-28 decision, a close one. But I just think the fight should be closer to pick him. But I'm actually picking Lisboa to get it done. So plus 150 range, I think she's the side as well. But we'll see, though. There's some concerns again. So maybe you just pass on this fight. That's also good. But I think betting wise, Lisboa is a good spot personally.
All right. Let's get to our next fight here. a gentleman's bout, a low-level gentleman's bout. That Connor Mathews versus Yadir DelValle. I think it is DelValle. Connor Mathews, 7-3, 32, 5'8", 71-inch reach. Yadir DelValle is 8-0, 28, 5'9", 69-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, Mathews stinks anywhere from plus 300 to plus 390. Yadir is anywhere from minus 430 to minus 481. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. What do you guys think?
Yeah, fuck this fight, bro. I've made my money betting against Connor Mathews and betting on him. You know, I bet him on Dana White Contender Series and the fight that he won, and then I bet against him. In his last fight, I bet the under, right? But I think Delgado is much better than this guy, personally. I think Delgado is so much more dangerous. And, you know, I bet the under was like close to pick him, minus 125. And here it's like, I could bet the under, personally, at plus money, because Yadir, he hurt people. He has a tricky submission game, but he's not that good of a finisher. You know what I mean? So, and Connor Mathews, the thing with him is that he's very hittable, but he's normally pretty tough. But he got finished now, so maybe he's just not going to be the same. But yeah, overall, I think if anything, you just take a shot on the under. You know, Connor Mathews is going to throw hard, and this dude's making his debut. I don't think he's that great personally, but he's kind of dangerous. He's just not that good at actually finishing fights on regionals. So how that's going to translate to UFC level. But at the same time, I don't think Connor Mathews is UFC level. So that's kind of tricky. But I think DelValle should be fine here, probably find a finish. So it's not a bad look to look into his, you know, finish props and shit like that. But personally, I just prefer to stay away on this one. But I'm going to pick him to get it done.
Yeah. Like you said, under at plus odds against a guy Matthew who's chinny and gets hit a lot, and this guy making his debut and swings hard and wants to try and find a finish. He hasn't found one yet, but why not get one done in the Apex? Small cage, going to make them fight. Would not be parlaying this guy DelValle by any means, but yeah, I think unders is fair. But if I got to pick a side, I'm just going to pick the heavy favorite. What do you think, Kate?
You have other people you prefer to parlay on this card, right?
Oh, don't you worry. I got a nasty work parlay for everybody. Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, past fight, I think DelValle is shit. Bet against someone, Dana White Contender Series, Montero put on the absolutely shit performance. I still don't think DelValle is good. Yeah, pass. Mathews, from a money line standpoint, I think Mathews or pass. I don't. This isn't a fight that I want anything to do with, though. I think that Yadir probably escapes out of this one. Honestly, I hope that it's like a Bakoyev situation. Like, he knocks him out round one and the fade just grows even more. Because one day this guy's going to get absolutely fried. And it's coming. So I hope Yadir knocks him out, spinning wheel kick, spinning dick kick, round one. I don't care. Yeah.
All right. Next fight, Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises. This fight's about to pick him. Jared Gordon, 27, 36 years old, 5'9", 68-inch reach. Thiago Moises, 19-8, 30 years old, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach. Like I said, odds on these gentlemen, minus 110 apiece to pick them. I was about to say which old man do you want to go with, but Thiago Moises is 30 years old. He's just got a ton of wear and tear on him. Dravhy, who you taking here? Jared by decision or Thiago Moises by decision?
It's a tricky fight to call. I think the line movement is justified on this one. I think Jared dog shot was sharp. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a close fight. I don't really see how this fight not end up being a close one. But to be honest, I bet Moises in his last fight, and I hate that performance personally. Like, the guy didn't grapple at all. Like, he dominated the grappling because, you know, Ogden engaged in the grappling, and he basically hurt him with the leg kick. But I mean, bro, on the feet, he's so low volume. He doesn't trust himself. It's kind of weird. You know, he was an ATT guy. He went to Fighting Nerds back at ATT. It looked like he don't really know what to do at this point in his career. He's only 30 years old. He's been in the UFC for years. And, you know, he's the type of guy that went to the top 15, had the big fights, and then you realize that he's not at that level. So he knows that, that in his head. And since then, it looked like he didn't really find himself back. He doesn't trust himself. He lacked confidence. I don't like that in a fighter. Jared Gordon, you can say what you want about him. That's a guy that got KO'd a couple of times in the UFC. And then after that, you can say what you want about him, but you can say that he doesn't believe in himself to win these fights. That's a guy who, beat Paddy Pimblett. Paddy, the guy's on a fucking run right now, right? And that's also a guy that should have beat Nasrat. Nasrat's also on the run right now. So, and he got robbed in these two fights, I believe, personally. And I bet Paddy in the first one. I know everybody were on Jared Gordon. I was like, what the fuck, bro? But yeah, you should have won that one. And if you give him these two decisions, he's 13-0 to the decision, which is very impressive in a fight that is like minus 300 to go the distance. And Thiago Moises, I just feel like he's not going to do enough. I think Gordon's going to try, be in his face, do a lot more. And the Nasrat fight, man, I mean, it was impressive to me the way he fight. If he fight like that here, Moises better hope he get a back take or get on top, because I think that's how you win. But on the feet, I just think he's not going to do enough. And I wouldn't be shocked if Jared, talking about it out loud, if Jared were to, find a finish late and break him, because Moises is breakable and, he's been KO'd before. So looking at it right now, I think you go the distance. Don't get me wrong, right? But looking into Jared Gordon by KO, it's 8-1 on Bet Online, but you're gonna get way better than that on commercial. Maybe you get 10-1, but I don't think he submit him. I really don't. But then I don't think he's gonna knock him on the first round either. So Jared Gordon KO2, KO3, 24-1, 28-1 on Bet Online. So you're gonna get even better than that on FanDuel. I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna predict him to win a decision, but if he fight the way he did against Nasrat, he hurt Nasrat, bro. Like, Moises is gonna break if he come out here with that pace, pressure, and volume. So yeah, I like Gordon, but there's concerns about Moises getting on top, getting the back. Moises is a good grappler. He fought very good competition, and then if you look, the guy that Moises lost to, it's very high level of people, so it will be his worst loss. And I'm also concerned about Gordon age. He's 36, so yeah. I seems passionate about it because I think that Gordon is the side, but at the same time, I'm not sure there's too much value at the current number right now. But I think he's going to win.
No, I think it's a pretty clear Gordon spot. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really do too much tape into it. I really just went back and watched the Nasrat fight, and I was actually pretty impressed with how well Gordon did against Nasrat. I was on Gordon there. He lost, obviously, but I still think that he looked pretty good. And then you're looking at a guy in Thiago Moises, right? We went back, looked at Trey Ogden. I think Trey Ogden lost that fight for himself. Ludovic Klein, not a bad loss. Mitch Ramirez, no good. Benoit Saint Denis ran right through him with a buzzsaw, but that's Benoit Saint Denis. And then he beat Costa, but that was Costa before Costa is the Costa he is today. So I don't know. I just don't like the trajectory of both these guys. Jared Gordon's a New York guy. I'm a New York guy. I'm going to ride with them, but from a betting standpoint, I'm not even touching this fight. I got no interest. I think it's Jared Gordon's side. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, Moises needs a back take here. I bet against Gordon in the Nasrat fight. Actually, I believe I played Nasrat straight. Should bet, but cash. Jared Gordon proved me completely wrong. I thought that he was washed. I thought the exchanges in the Mark Madsen fight looked bad. He looked slower, but I mean the Nasrat fight looked really, really solid. Put on a really solid performance and got fucked probably. Moises is sort of just who he is at this point. I think that he's mentally broken as a fighter, if that makes sense. I just don't think that he'll ever be anything outside of this. Probably a guy that retires relatively early, honestly. But yeah, it's a pass fight. I'm not gonna spend too much time. I think Gordon wins the exchanges on the feed.
All right. Next fight, the return of Gabe Green versus Mathews Camilo. Me and Key almost went to war on Gabe Green versus James Yontop. What a time that would have been. Gabe Green, 11-5, 32, 5'10", 73-inch reach. Mathews Camilo, Jaguar, 9-2, 24, 5'9", reach unavailable. Odds on these two gentlemen, Camilo is minus 200 to minus 230. Gabe Green anywhere from plus 175 to plus 200. Key, I'm gonna have you go first here. I mean, we got a debutante in Camilo versus Gabe Green coming off a long layoff. Not sure. I think he had to pull out. He got injured in his last fight. I think it was an interview with that guy James Lynch. I also heard that. Obviously, we know the last fight he had was almost 2 years ago. It was against Brian Battle, where I bet Gabe Green, and he ran in there and just was like, "Fuck it, we're throwing down," and just got destroyed. So that was my last experience with Gabe Green. What do you think here? I know you're going to be on Yon Top versus Green. Are you going to be on Camilo versus Green?
I passed at an earlier price on Camilo. Hindsight, obviously, that doesn't feel good with him minus 225 now. But I'm not really sure. I think I'm pretty sure that he's good. And I like a lot of what he does. But Gabe Green looked decent at 170 in moments. And gave people tough fights. The Brian Battle performance is just weird. Just for him to get bonked in however many seconds that was, I believe like 13 or 14 or something.
10 seconds in.
Yeah, I mean that was just like ape shit just gets bonked. Like that's just how many times does that happen? Like so that's just
telling your
weird.
boys like, yo, this is gonna be a sharp bet. I'm telling you, just take Gabe Green plus odds here. Trust me, bro. Take it. We're at the bar, and then 13 seconds in, he gets clapped. I go, yo, I don't know what to tell you.
That's just crushing. Like I can't imagine being on that side there. I mean, that's just brutal. But I think that here, Gabe Green's fought the stiffer competition. I do think that Camilo is going to be fine in this division. But I just don't know. I'm not trying to pay minus 200 on debutante versus a guy who Gabe Green last time out. I believe it was a torn ACL or something. Something popped with his knee. I heard that interview with I believe James Lynch. But I think the Gabe is at these odds. I can't blame anybody, but the layoff is weird. There's just so many weird things to cap into this fight. So for me, it's a pass.
All right, Dravhy, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, honestly, fuck this fight. I just want to watch and take notes about Camilo and even Gabe Green, because dropping down a weight class, the guy doesn't really seems to be locked in MMA. He's religious now. He seems to be into other stuff than fighting, to be honest. If you look
noted, Dravy hates religion. Got it.
If you look into his Instagram, it just doesn't look like the guy is motivated to fight compared to what he used to post, So, and the drop down in weight, he's shitty to begin with. So maybe that's going to be worse for him. Maybe that's going to be good. I don't really know. Camilo, the thing I know is that he's young. He's going to improve fight to fight. He's training at a good gym at Extreme Couture with Maron Santos every week. He's his main training partner. So he's getting good looks. And I just think he has more upside overall. But yeah, I'm going to pick him to win, but I'm not betting this fight personally.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't agree with you guys. I like Mathews Camilo here. I think he is the goods. Everything I heard from his interview with James Lynch as well. He's a young, hungry guy. He's a good grappler. He's aggressive on the feet. He's got power in the hands. I mean, he's got good submission game as well. Good back take. Happy with what I saw from him on tape. I got no problem. I guess it's kind of like the whole classic. You're getting a vet at plus 200 odds versus a newcomer, but this is one of those things where I think, Camilo's got everything, got a well-rounded game. He's out of Extreme Couture with Nick Sick and the boys, and he's getting all the right looks over there. You know he is. He actually committed to living here in America for a few years now. So he's being like a taxi driver and stuff like that, and now he's fighting on the stage. He's not going to lose this fight, bro. Gabe Green's had his chance, and Camilo's chances are just beginning. I like him at minus 200. I will use him as a parlay leg if you can. Next fight. This is going to be this is pretty much Twitter's fight of the week and our podcast fight of the week at this point. Julian Erosa versus Melquizal Costa. Melky Costa is 23-7. He's 28, 5'10", 71-inch reach. Julian Erosa, Juicy J, is 31-11, 35, 6'1", 74.5-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, Erosa's anywhere from plus 144 to plus 160. Melky Costa's anywhere from minus 182 to minus 200. Dravy, Actually, Key, we'll have you go first, and me and Drop can go at it. So, Key.
No, you can go first because you parlay Costa at -225. So we want to know why.
Hold on. Let me get my shit out of the way because I don't
Yeah,
know
let him get
necessarily
his
this
off.
fight.
Get your shit off, and then let us
Go
know.
on, bro.
I think that this is a fun fight. I think Dravhy has explained his take to me. I think it makes a lot of sense. From a money line perspective, I think it's Erosa or pass. But I don't feel strongly about this fight. I do think Erosa is aging, getting slower. And I did win a lot of money off of him in his last fight versus Elkins, but for me here, it's a pass. So but I'll let y'all have at it.
All right, Drive. You want me to go first?
Yeah, tell us. So why did you bet Costa at -225? So the peak price that he was. So you buy at the highest price, right? -225, and you put him in a parlay. So explain us why do you think -225 was short? Listen.
I'm okay. So I faded him against Feely and lost that. I faded him against C-Rod and lost that. So now it would make perfect sense to play him at extreme
at super chalk, right?
Play him at join the train at super chalk. And here's why. Because I think the Julian Erosa hype is all good, like back in the day, but now he's a 35, 36-year-old fighter.
Pause. There's no hype here. Costa's the one with the hype going into this fight.
I mean, Erosa's on what, a 3-fight win streak, and he just finished a first round. Darren Elkins.
There's no hype, bro. There's no hype. The hype is on
he subbed C-Rod and he subbed Ricardo Ramos. Like there's a little.
There's no hype. There's no hype. The hype is on Costa.
But continue, yes. But the hype is he's got more hype. But I think that's rightfully so. Leslie Costa has pretty good Muay Thai. His strikes are very strong. He hasn't gotten he got a fierce finish on the feet earlier in the UFC, but you got to go back into his regional tape. And you go back and watch his regionals, right, on his like Thunder fight and all those older Brazilian tapes, you can see he has knockout power on the feet. He's a judo box guy. He's got strong striking. It's only getting better. I mean, he was able to stand in there and bang with C-Rod. He was beating the shit out of Austin Lingo as well. So like, Julian Erosa, the one thing about him, he's a savage. I love the guy. I grew up as a Juicy J fan for years. But the one thing you got to know is that his chin is gone. And when Costa finds that chin, he's probably going to knock him out if he gets the chance to. But even if he doesn't, I think that Costa will have a chance to actually top time Julian Erosa. We know his grappling game is good, but his takedowns aren't great. Or his takedown defense isn't great. So Melky Costa is going to be able to take Julian Erosa down. I think he'll top time him, get some ground and pound in. Probably, I honestly think it's more realistic for a finish on the feet. But I think people who are betting Erosa are counting on that round 3, like we saw in his last fight against C-Rod, where Costa kind of started to slow down a little bit and kind of went into survival mode. I think a lot of people are counting on that because Julian Erosa isn't the type of guy to go away. And he'll be there in round 3 to bring the fight to you. So, like, instead of playing Julian Erosa money line round 3, maybe sprinkle on that. But I would probably play the round 3 prop as well. But in my book, I think it's okay. I mean, -180, I'm almost okay with playing 2 units straight on Melky Costa here. I parlayed him with Nursultan, and we'll get into that later. But, I think this is a fine Melky spot here. I think it's just him, up-and-coming prospect, just going to breeze through a 35-year-old Julian Erosa, keep Julian Erosa on the prelims, fighting the banger of fights that we have and all love. But, I think that's all Julian Erosa is going to be after this weekend.
So what do you think the line should be on Costa?
I thought -225 on Costa was fine. I think he should be -225, could even be -250 here.
Oh, all right. So you bet him with no value.
Yeah, I bet him just as a parlay piece. So trying to get better value because I thought that line on Nursultan was going to fly up, but it didn't.
Okay, so I thought you play -225 because you thought like the line should be wider, but
no, that was just to get Nursultan's price down. But that didn't happen.
He's -183 right now. But to be honest, like if you ask me like gun to my head, who's gonna win? Like I can understand why you make Costa a favorite, but I just can't get behind -200 personally. And you're talking about this C-Rod fight. It's like, so basically you went to almost a 50-50 fight versus a guy in C-Rod who, let's not forget, it's much smaller than him and was trying to grapple fuck against him, right? So he didn't really throw him any strike. And I mean, C-Rod almost won the fight. He lost the fight by like a minute, right? So it was very close.
Yep.
And now we're supposed to be hype on him because of that. I mean, Julian Erosa submits C-Rod in round 1. You know how hard C-Rod is to submit? Like,
yeah.
So I don't understand the market. There is like Costa. I think he's putting himself in the right position. Like, he's super active. He's getting his name on the map. So respect to him for that. But the same time, it's like he was pick him to C-Rod. Then it was a close decision, right? But they went to war, and now he's fighting back only two months after that. And then the fight prior, it was against Andrew Feely. Again, he was like minus 125, minus 130. Feely quit in the guillotine. Like, he put him in the guillotine. That's not going to happen here, right? So I don't put too much stock into that. And then the Shaylin fight, basically, he got kind of wrestle fucked the first 2 rounds, and then Shaylin gassed out, and he finds a sub. So good on him. Steve Garcia fight. To be honest, Steve Garcia was too big. He just beat his ass. I don't put too much stock into that. Austin Lingo, he beat his ass, but he couldn't finish. And then Thiago Moises, it was, upper weight class, short notice. He was bigger. Personally, Peg, I mean, I know grappling, right? So we talked about it, right? That Moises choke, he was not even under the neck. It was a neck crank, and he tapped.
Yeah.
It looked like he kind of quit in there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that was the younger day. That was almost 3 years ago. I think he was a different guy back then.
It was the younger day. Like, I mean, it was in 2021, right? So I'm not saying he's not improving. It was in 2023 actually. So it was only 2 years ago. But what I'm saying is, if you look into Costa, he has submission attempt against him in almost every UFC fight. He has like 4 against him, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Erosa put him in the front choke, do you think he survived? Do you think he escaped that, like a guillotine or a Dars or something?
Hard to say. It depends on how deep it is. Obviously, you say that about any choke. Like, it depends how deep.
Right?
It is.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, Juicy J front choke is like in the division, bro. It's up there. Like, he has these long arm, and he's nasty with them, right? So, and now you're saying Costa's gonna shoot takedowns and trying to grapple. I mean, he could. I think he could land takedowns, like you said. He could win minutes on top. But the problem with that is, I think every time he's gonna try to grapple, he's gonna put himself in bad position in submission attempts. And again, Erosa, I think, is like one of the guys you don't want to be in a submission attempt against. And this guy Costa has shown me multiple times in the UFC that he's gonna be in submission attempt. C-Rod had a Dars choke on him. He couldn't finish. If Erosa get that Dars choke, I'm pretty sure he's going to finish.
That was deep enough. That would probably Erosa would probably finish that one. I agree.
So yeah, I mean, that's the first thing. And then the thing I've noticed is Costa is a really good kicker, right? He's really good at kicking, but he needs space to operate. He doesn't really operate well under pressure. And the thing with Juicy J is he's not going to try to kick with him at distance. He's going to go out there and trying to be in the pocket and pressure him. And that's also in the small cage, which I think favor Erosa, right? So you're gonna have a guy in Costa who's gonna try to kick at distance, and he could catch him, bro. Like, I think it's possible that he knocks him out in the first round. That's normally how Erosa loses, right? So the reasons I play Erosa, I play him plus 190. I just think there's way too much upside on this side, especially if the fight goes after the first round, right? So I think if he doesn't get bunked early, basically I favor him as the fight extends. I think he's going to push a higher pace. I think he's going to throw more volume. And I think in round 2 and round 3, he's more likely to finish. He's more likely to break Costa. And I think that Costa, again, in the pocket and in the clinch, I think Erosa's going to win these exchanges. I think Erosa's going to go to the body. And I just think he's going to break him, bro. I really do. And I think I've noticed also is Erosa, if you look at the Dawodu and the Jourdain fight, both these guys are good kickers and are pretty fast, and he did well against them. He did pretty well, actually. And what he did is, first of all, he was catching their kicks, and he was timing the kicks to get takedowns, and then he was pressuring them a lot so they can get their kicking game going as much as they will like. And he hurt Jourdain, he hurt Dawodu. So this guy, Erosa, can crack. He has power, and he's bigger than Costa here, right? So I just think that he has power, he has submission, and he's 14-0 to the submission, right? So I think he can win via all 3 methods. If he go the distance, it's going to be a war. It's going to be a very good fight, and it's going to be a really close fight. I don't think any of these guys are going to get like blown away with it, right? But Costa could win KO1. I think that's possible. But I don't think Costa could submit him. I really don't. And then I think Erosa could finish by KO or submission in round 2 and 3. So I just think at the price, there's just so much more upside. But to your point, I mean, Costa is younger. He's more durable. The current trajectory is on his side. So if you want to say he's like minus 125, minus 150 because of that, I mean, I can understand the argument. But personally, when I look into this one, I think it should be close to pick him. And I just think Erosa, he's the type of guy you want to have your money on at these type of price. You don't want to bet him as a favorite, but at plus 190, he's just a super volatile fighter. You want to bet on him when he's a big underdog. So I just think, again, the upside is there. There's a couple paths to victories. And if he doesn't die in round one, I think he's going to cook him. So, yeah, Erosa, Juicy J. I've bet on this guy a lot, but every time I do, he's a big underdog and people kind of disrespect him. And to your point, they're both on a 3-fight winning streak. If you look at the name of their win streak, I think Juicy J win streak is kind of more impressive, right? Finish Ramos and finish Shirad in the first round. Goddamn, all right, you finish both these guys. And then Costa, Cheyenne, not really good. Philly, Philly, it's a good win, but Philly quit in the guillotine, right?
He quit. That's
and
a
then
weird one.
He beat Shirad in a 50-50 fight. So it's like, all right, bro, I think he's good. I think he is. But I just think Juicy J could be a very hard matchup for him because of his style, his pace, his pressure, his volume. Just don't get bunked in round one, and then I think he's cooking. But then you're saying Costa has like big power. I don't agree with that. I think he has power, but if you look, the last time he knocked someone out in the first round, it was in 2021, so it was 4 years ago, and it was outside the UFC against a guy that is 12-11. So could he knock him out in the first round? Yeah, that Juicy J, he could get bunked, right? But he just has a weird chin, Juicy J. Sometimes he get hit with some bombs and he's fine. And sometimes he just can fall over. So, yeah, again, I'm going to pick Juicy J for the upset here. But I think it's a really close fight. And if he die, he die. But, yeah, I think if he doesn't die early, it's going to cook. But, yeah, we'll see.
All right. Guys, leave a comment in the section below. Who's going to win this week? Is Drav going to win or is Peg going to win? And don't forget to look at all the profiles below. Next fight we have here is Stoltzfus versus, let me get over here in a second. Stoltzfus versus Nursultan. Nursultan Ruziboev is 35-9-2. He's 31-6'5" with 76-inch reach. Dustin Stoltzfus 16-6, 33, 6 feet tall, 75-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen, Nursultan is anywhere from minus 281 to minus 310. Dustin Stoltzfus is anywhere from plus 240 to plus 260. Drav, I'm going to have you go first here. What do you think? Do you think the Wolf finds the round one KO, or is Dustin going to be able to grapple his way, drag the Wolf in late, and find a finish towards the end of the fight?
Yeah, I mean, that's your main event, right? Personally, I don't have a good read on it. I think Ruziboev could bunk early, obviously. But if the fight extends, I think it could be tricky. I think Stoltzfus has some grappling upside, but I don't think Stoltzfus has the best cardio to begin with. But I think Stoltzfus sometimes is underrated. I don't think he's a bad fighter. He has some decent wins. And even when he loses, he compete against these guys. And just think Ruziboev, we kind of know he's fraudulent, right? But I don't really want to bet against him, against these type of fighter that I think can get cracked early. I think Stoltzfus is a candidate to get cracked early in round one. But yeah, if the fight extends, it favor him. And I just think that he has paths to victory. So for me, it's just dog or pass. But yeah, I think Ruziboev could just bunk him in early on. He has power. I just think he's very simple, but his counters are nasty and he's big. So, but yeah, you like him. So why do you like Black?
So the Black Wolf. The reason I like him is because the thing that Dustin Stoltzfus struggles against is non-American power punchers. Those are the guys who tend to beat him, right? When I say that, I'm talking about guys like Abus Nurmagomedov, guys who start early, get in his face, throw front kicks, heavy punches, try and finish him early. Bruno Ferreira, same thing. Get in your face, try and blast punches, finish it early. If you look into his past too, right? It was what was his name? I thought there was another KO in here. Thought there was. Either way, he got into the UFC off of a fluke Joe Piper injury. Then we're talking about beating. He did choke out Rodolfo Vieira, which was impressive. But I think what he's counting on is the fight to go deeper into the fight to win by sub. I guess you could say we haven't seen Nursultan deep into a fight. but he lost. He went to a decision against Buckley. Buckley was able to. We know how good that aged now. Other than that, he's beating Dumas, Bruno Ferreira. I don't know. I just think that this is just a setup spot. I think Nursultan knows exactly what he's doing. Also, I think Nursultan's improving fight to fight. Although he's 31, now he's in that Marquez MMA gym in Philly with all the boys, training with Joe Piper, Sean Brady, actually getting that work in. I don't know. I think this is going to be a nice setup spot for Nursultan here in the Apex. I think the smaller cage also favors him. I think he's just going to go right at Dustin Stoltzfus and probably finish him in the first round. That's kind of my prediction there. Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Ruziboev's one of the worst to ever do it. I will forever say that. Yeah, fuck this guy. I mean, just the worst process in the world. But manages to get away with it because he's 6'5".
Autism and everything. That's what you got to do. That's the keys. It's the autism.
I mean, this is just crazy. This guy does not deserve to be 3-1 in the best MMA promotion in the world. Like, that's just fucking crazy. But yeah, I think that he's gotten comical matchmaking. The only time that we've seen him take a step up in competition, he got cooked. But again, that's Buckley, a guy who's gonna soon eventually probably fight for a belt, depending on how his next fight goes. So you're talking about a guy who's potentially in title contention as his step up in competition. Otherwise, he's fought pretty much ass guys and mean Bruno Ferreira at the time. Stoltzfus is liable to get bonked early. I feel like Ruziboev waits around for 10 hours and then magically snipes a right hand, and then I just have to shut up and wait for another fade. So again, this is another situation where I hope the guy just knocks him out round one and that the fade continues to grow. I was there for the Buckley fade, and I will be there for the next one. I don't think that Stoltzfus is the next one.
All right. Next fight is another interesting one on Twitter. It's Myron Santos versus Sodiq Yusuff. Myron Santos, 15-1, 24, 5'9", 72-inch reach. Most famous for robbing Francis Marshall in one of the worst robberies of all time, versus Sodiq Yusuff, who is 13-4, 31, 5'9", 71-inch reach. The guy who actually gave Diego Lopez a platform to fight for the belt. Odds on these two gentlemen, it's relatively close. You can get Santos anywhere from -130 to -145. You can get Yusuff anywhere from +107 to +125. I was going to have Key go first. Key, I mean, I think this is a Myron Santos stunt on him spot. Probably finds the KO here again. What do you think?
I'll be honest, this is one that I fully haven't been able to tape yet. We're recording this on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's tough. I will say it has been a lot of pressure lately doing the Tuesday night grind.
Yeah, so this is one that I sadly haven't gotten around to, but I am super excited to because I'm hearing a lot of strong opinions from a bunch of different people that I respect. So it'll be interesting to see. But I do think that Myron is still good. The Francis Marshall fight, obviously not a good look, but just one of those fights for him. Sodiq is aging, was chinny, always been chinny to some degree. But God, I mean, took absolute ass kicking in the Edson fight after blowing his load, and then Diego comes out and just crumbles him. So for me, that with another long layoff, he's a guy who never has been super active in his career. And so for me, I gotta think that it's probably Myron or pass. But I could see how Sodiq gives him problems, especially in boxing range, especially outside the warning tracks up and against the cage. Myron can be allergic to pressure at times. So this can be interesting to see. But one that I'm excited to tape. For pick purposes, I'll go with Myron, but I don't have a bet on it. And I still haven't fully taped it.
Peg is gone. Right. So that's my free bet of the week. So for people that don't know, when I post free bet of the week, right, I have a lot of engagement on these tweets, but it's not that I'm, having a bet for free or anything like that. Is that I'm selling my bets for months, for years now, but I give one bet for free every week that I post on Twitter so people can tell me, right? So I'm actually putting real money down on the on this, right? So I play Maron Santos minus 124. I play it pretty big. I think he's the side here. There's a lot of reasons to like him. Career trajectory, right? He's 24. They're like 25 versus 32. But you have a guy who's a big prospect who's going out there and having all the career trajectory on his side. And you have Sodiq Yusuff, who's coming back after a year away from the sport, who got KO'd in the first round against Lopez, who hit very hard, but that was like, so he had his big time main event against Barboza. He dominated round one, and then he lost, and then he had this chance to redeem himself against Lopez, and then he got KO'd in the first round. So I feel like the motivation could not be there coming in. We don't really know, right? But he took a year off. He decided to move to 155 permanently, maybe because of his chin, maybe because of the weight cut, right? And Santos accepted this fight on 3 weeks' notice, and he's also, so this fight was be at 155. Both guys former 145er, but looking into it, Sodiq Yusuff, he's good, man. The guy has skills. Clearly, he's a good fighter. But the problem with him is that he get hurt in almost every fight you watch. He get hurt, he get dropped, and he has good recovery to his credit. But I mean, Santos is a sniper, guys. He has elite footwork, very good striking. He pick his shot very well. Good knees up the middle. Good 1-2. Good jab. He improved his takedown defense a lot and his scrambles ability since the regional scene. And I just think the guy is the goods personally. I think that he's legit. I think he's special. And I think that he has nasty power. People are kind of shitting on him because, he robbed Francis Marshall. First of all, that's a much different matchup here. Francis Marshall looked career best in that fight. ATT, grappler, push a pace, durable, right? So that was a close fight, but Marshall should have won. He didn't. The judges gave it to Santos. And the fight prior, right? Santos looked amazing, and then Kane Offley. Kane Offley is not that good of a fighter, you guys. I know that, right? But if there's one thing about him, he's very hard to finish. He never got finished outside of that fight. He always shown a good chin. He always shown to be there for 15 minutes. Even if he's losing, even if he's getting beat up by Naimov, he's not getting finished, right? So, and that was a highlight reel type KO. So that showed me that even against durable fighters, Santos can put lights out. On the regional, he has some good KOs, and he's someone that carries power late and can find a KO in any rounds, which I like. And then in this fight, Sodiq Yusuff might try to pressure him, but I think that he's going to walk into something and get hurt at some point in this fight. And they're going to compete a minute. I think Sodiq might land a little bit more, but I think Santos is going to win the big moments. And I think that Santos is live to hurt him or knock him out in any rounds, which Sodiq has power himself. He could hurt him. I guess that's possible. I mean, Santos got hurt a bit against Marshall in their fight. But to be honest, I think Santos is way more likely to knock him out and hurt him than the other way around because the durability difference and the age difference. And what I was about to say. Fuck, I forgot my thoughts. Yeah, so Sodiq, sometimes he compete on minutes like against Arnold Allen. And again, he get cracked in almost every round. I just think here against a guy that hit hard like Santos and is super precise, he's gonna walk into something. And Santos, I think again is special. So I think he's gonna add Sodiq Yusuff to his highlight reel and get back on track here. I think it's a buy low spot. People are low on Santos now. I know it's a step up in competition. I know people are gonna like Sodiq as an underdog this week, which I can't understand why. But personally, I think Maron is the real deal. I think he's gonna put his lights out, and even if he doesn't, I think he's gonna win the decision. I think that Sodiq has to not get hurt for 15 minutes and kind of fight a perfect fight here. I don't really think he's gonna grapple much. I think Santos, anyways, if you try, he has good footwork. It's gonna be hard to track, and he has good takedown defense. Sodiq, not much of a grappler, anyways. So yeah, I just think overall there's a lot of upside on the Santos side that I think could end the fight and look like a big favorite. And I think Sodiq could come into this fight, look bad after the layoff, after the KO loss. He could be careful. But yeah, maybe the move up in weight going to be good. We don't really know. But at the end of the day, I just think Santos is going to catch him at some point. He's going to put him down. Does he finish him? No, that's the question. But I think he's going to put him down or out. But I'm going to predict him to actually put his lights out. So yeah, my last fight of the card that I'm like passionate about, but you can go ahead, Peg.
Yeah, I'm not gonna add much. Dravhy broke down perfectly. Going back and looking at his LFA tape against Barbosa, his boxing looks great. He has great counter striking. His footwork looks good. I like how high his guard is at boxing range. We saw it also against Marshall. Although he got cracked, he keeps his guard high. He swings back and has good counter strikes, like I just talked about. The Argueta fight's really what made him wake up and practice his, takedown defense. Just kind of looked improved fight over fight. I don't think Sadiq's going to look here to wrestle too crazy. Yusuff's been knocked down his past 2 fights, or he's been wobbled. Lopez knocked him out cold, but not cold, but pretty bad. But Barbosa wobbled him like 2 or 3 times in that fight, watching that back. One with a spinning like wheel kick, and the other one was just normal punches with hooks. So
yeah, hurt him every fight, bro. Gabriel Benitez hurt him. Arnold Allen hurt him 2 times. You look into his career, this guy's getting hurt left and right. It's crazy that he only been KO'd twice.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And I think Myron Santos is a guy who's going to chase the finish. He's a young guy. And he's talking about how this is his chance to become a star. This is to make up for that loss that he had, or his not loss, but his fake loss against Marshall that he won. So yeah, I'm going to wait a little bit, see what commercial books get for the KO. Probably be on a sprinkle on the Myron Santos KO prop, but I'm definitely already on money line. I think I got minus 130 for 2 units. I think this is a step. It's a big step up in competition for Santos, but I think he's ready for it. I mean, he's a young guy who's 24 years old, but he's got 16 fights. It's not like he's unfamiliar to that. So you don't see that often. That's kind of got the making for something good. So I think this is a buy low spot on Santos as well. Next fight. Paul Craig, Rodolfo Bellato. I have nothing to say about this one. I mean, we've all been here. We know how this goes. I mean, Paul Craig's back up at 205, 17-9, 37, 6'3", 76 since reach. Bellato, 12-2, 29, 6'3". I mean, a draw against Jimmy Crute, which he debatably could have won. Ihar Pateria, Taha. I mean, these guys both stink like shit. I don't even know what to even say or do about this fight. I wouldn't touch it. Maybe playing under. Maybe someone gets finished. I guess unders would be fine. I don't even know what the under is. That'd be my guess. But I guess if I'm going to pick a side, fuck it. I'm going with Paul Craig. Big plus odds. Odds these 2 gentlemen. Paul Craig plus 400. This is a co-main event. Jesus Christ. Paul Craig is plus 400 to 450. Rodolfo Bellato is minus 550. I don't know how this is a co-main event. Yeah, I'm taking the dog. Give me Paul Craig plus 400. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I think Bellato smokes him. Pace, pressure on the feet is just, I mean, way too much for Paul Craig. I've seen Bellato grapple in plenty of, I mean, not reckless ways. I know he's, a wild man on the feet. But I mean, the guy's a fucking dog. He just obviously loves to fight. I think that he does anything he really wants to Paul on the feet. Paul is nothing but kicks, and then wants to pull guard. I don't think that he subs Bellato. And I think that Paul Craig I mean, it's just kind of pretty clear that it's either he triangle chokes you or you beat him. Like it's 1 or 2 options. And at this level of MMA, and I believe guys are just continuing to get better and better at this sport. And I do think Bellato is a competent grappler. I don't think that Paul Craig is going to get it done. And Paul Craig going back up to 205 here. He was starting to feel himself after beating Andre Muniz at 185 in that 185 debut. And was talking like he was just reborn again. So 3 straight losses. You're 1-5 in your last 6. I think odds are justified here. I think Bellato gets it done pretty easily.
Yeah, Bo Nicole not finishing him was also crazy look in hindsight. I like that Bo Nicole. That's funny to me. Drav, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, Bellato should be fine. He's just not the type of fighter person I want to lay like massive chalk on, because he's kind of kill or be killer, and he might go into Paul Craig guard or some shit, and but at the end of the day, he's just a much better striker, the much younger guy. The career trajectory is on his side, but I mean, the guy is there to be hurt. He's there to be cracked. Paul Craig is just not that guy. But again, in these type of fight when Paul Craig's a big underdog and people counting him out, that's kind of where he's finding ways to pull this shit up. And his submission prop is 7-1, so that's always how you win. So if you want to take a shot on that, I don't mind it. But personally, I think Bellato is going to break him probably in round 2 and round 3. Find a KO more than likely.
All right. Main event. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That's all we really ask for, man. It's not much to ask for either. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. Join our Discord. Link is below. We're talking fights. We're dropping free plays early before we put them on Twitter. They go to the Discord first. You can ask us questions. We talk about fights, share fun bet slips, things like that. Join it below. Main event, Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. Gilbert Burns, he is 38. He's 22-8. He is 5'10 with a 71-inch reach. Michael Morales is 17-0, 25, 6'0, 79-inch reach. Ladies and gentlemen, Morales is anywhere from minus 625 to minus 1,000. Burns is anywhere from plus 625, plus 500 to plus 625. I'll go first here just because mine's quick. Yeah, Michael Morales is going to get this done. Gilbert Burns, old, past his day. Michael Morales is a national championship boxer, an Ecuadorian national champion in wrestling, and I'm not really even sure what that means, wrestling midgets or whatever it is. Who knows? But either way, I don't think he's going to beat up Gilbert Burns here pretty bad. Probably find the finish at some point. Fight doesn't go the distance. Is minus 180. I don't mind that at all. That's probably how I'd play it. I mean, I guess if you got to pick a side, I'll pick Morales to finish. I guess if that's even better odds, but that's probably minus 250 as well. So I think fight doesn't go minus 180 is fine for me. That's how I'd play it. What are you thinking, Dravhy?
Yeah, I mean, Morales is good, man. The guy is a physical freak. The age difference here is massive. He has a good jab, good power, and I feel like he's just gonna knock Burns out. I know people, saying these odds is crazy, and I get it. I mean, we don't see Burns plus 570 often, and he always has a chance. We know him pretty well at this point, but the problem is his chin, and he didn't really want to look to be want to be in here against Sean Brady. But to his credit, he looks to be in shape going into this fight. But I just think Morales is, catching him at the right time, and just think that's his time now. So yeah, probably Morales by KO, but it's super chalk. I'd rather bet doesn't go the distance, but maybe the under 3.5. It's around pick'em. Burns has always a chance to finish somebody, and Morales is, the much younger guy who hit very hard and very strong. So I don't think Bird's going to have an easy time taking him down. And on the feet, I just think Morales could knock him out with a jab or some shit. So Burns is due to get finished and knocked out. So maybe that's the time here. It would only make sense. And I'm also curious to see how Morales is going to fit against these top guy, because he win this fight. He's 18-0.
And he's 25, which is even crazier.
Yeah, and he put himself in the top 10 clearly in that division, because let's talk about it. That welterweight division right now, woo, we have crazy. It's crazy, man. This division, I mean, there's a lot of guys that you can match up with and be like, oh my god, that's super high level. I'm not sure who's gonna win. So Morales is gonna put himself against these guys sooner than later, I feel like. But yeah, very excited about him, but not really for this fight. He's a big favorite, but I think under 3.5, I'd pick him. Kind of makes sense for him here, because I'm not sure about him for 5 rounds.
One of those lines is off, right?
More than likely, yeah.
So, Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, Burns, I mean, was not too long ago pretty much like a minute or so away from beating who's now the world champ. I mean, that was only like 14 months ago. But then the Sean Brady performance, I mean, he looked just incredibly washed. But again, that's Sean Brady. Michael Morales, big step up in my opinion still. I don't understand the money line. I do think that he ends up finding a shot at hurting Burns. But this isn't a fight that I want to get involved with. So this is sadly a sort of a anticlimactic main event here.
I kind of think the under or the fight ends inside the distance. Kind of in hindsight, it's going to look free if anyone who doesn't play it. I haven't played it yet. I've been staring at it all week. I'm probably going to end up playing it just because I feel like with a minus 1,000 odds, it's like It covers you with the Fluke Burns and the Marias KO. So I don't know. Seems fair. All right, let's do props real quick. Okay, the Pegasus Lock of the Week parlay. We're gonna do Nurse Sultan, and we're gonna do Camilo. So Camilo and Nurse Sultan parlayed together. That's the Pegasus Lock of the Week.
It's still early in the week. So honestly, due to the fact that a lot of prop prices haven't dropped, I think it'd be best if we drop these in our Discord for free. So make sure you join the Discord, and we'll have our prop of the weeks in the Discord.
All right, sounds good. Love that. Okay, we're gonna drop that later in the week. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. All links are below. Everything's free. I'm not doing the Telegram anymore. Everything I'm dropping is in our Discord. We all have our own channel. Like I said, Dravhy drops his free play of the week in there. He drops his free play and his slip and whatever voodoo magic he does with underdog and whatever that bullshit is. He drops all the free plays before he puts them on Twitter. He puts them in the Discord first. Join the Discord. Come talk shit with us. It's a good time. We're growing quickly. Like, comment, subscribe. What do you guys got going on for promotions for you guys' picks and stuff?
You can go first, Key.
Yeah, same old for me. DM me something nice. Just let me know that you watch the pod. I'll hook you up with a special code to get you in. We've been profiting a shit ton lately, so now is a good time to get in. UFC 316 lines dropping too. Invicta's this week, so I'm for sure definitely gonna have some regional stuff going on too. Road to UFC's coming up. I mean, it's definitely big time in MMA right now. So now is a good time to join the Dubclub and Discord with me.
If you want to follow me on that, oh, you can't see that Action Network. We're looking at 6-2 right now for baseball. What do you got going on, Drav?
Yeah, on my end, same as Keith. Just let me know you're watching. Let me know you like our content, and you should be joining me and Key. I mean, the price we're selling our stuffs compared to other cappers and the results we have for the last 2-3 years. I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing. I mean, I'm at 25 a month. Key's at 20 a month, and I'm up 34 unit this year's already. We're only in May. And Key, how many units? Probably something like similar. I don't know your year, but like we're having great years. And again, we're charging like maybe 20-25% to what other people are charging, and the results always speak for themselves. So join us, always there. Giving breakdowns, giving bets every week, and my card's already ready for this week. Already posted all the bets for my people in the OddsShopper. So if you want to join in, let me know. I'm looking at that UFC 316 card already, and potentially going to have a max bet on this one. So we'll see what happens. But yeah.
Oh, by the way, they dropped odds for UFC 317 while we were doing the show on Bet Online. Kind of crazy. Everything was super chalk. Super chalk. But yeah. Let me know if I fixed my mic. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Billy Faye. Was like, do something with your mic, get a pop screen. Here's your pop screen. See what happens. You comment something, we make it come true. That's how the podcast works. So leave comments below. You know how the algorithm works. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. And we will see you, was it 2 weeks, right? Next week we're off?
No, we have a card next week, I think.
Who is next week?
It's
Blanchfield Barber, isn't it?
That's May 30th. That's on the 30th.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So we have a week off.
Yeah, we got a week off. Don't worry. I'll do a look-ahead video. These guys won't. They don't care about you like I do. Nobody does. So I'll have a look-ahead video up next week. Maybe I'll do something fun. Who knows? We'll see what's going on. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will see you. Peace.